Hey folks, welcome to Tim's Offgrid. So today we're going to build this final wall. I did have it laid out before all the wind came. It blew everything over. Ladder landed on it and all that stuff. But I found a fatal flaw in my cap plates. So I didn't have the cap plates tied into the back wall. So I cut 3.5 inches off of the back cap plate. And I overlapped the cap plate for the side wall on each side onto the back wall. So that's how that's done now. That would just end up being like your 92 5/8 board. And no, sorry, no, it wouldn't. That would end up being, you'd still have to cut one side of it off, no matter if you had it butted up. Yep. So you'd still have to shorten it some at 92 5/8. But across the front, that'll be your full 8-foot board. It will go across the front on both sides, right there and right there. All right, just one of my lessons learned when I get rolling on this thing. But it sure is shored up way better now that I have the walls tied in like that. Not just tied in from the sides, but tied in. And don't forget, if you have put screws in all this, you do need to come back and put some nails in. Screws don't have any shear strength. All right, so next I'm going to start building out this last wall. Last wall is going to have the door and the window in it. So it's going to be, from here to there was 8 feet. So we got to take 7 inches off. So that's where we're starting. We're going to frame that up, whatever that width is, 8 feet minus 7. So anyways, I'm not doing the math. 96, 89. So it sounds about right. So anyways, like 89 inches if I'm right. And then 8 feet, and then a full 8-foot board across the top to tie in the front to the two sides. All right, let's start getting our measurements, marking our boards, and start cutting. Let's see if I'm right. Oh my, 89 and a quarter might be more accurate. So who knows? Could have been off just a little bit, right? So we don't want this to be off at all. So it looks like I'm going to do right at, I might even do 3/16. Just to play it safe on the overlapping. Now, here's another thing. Let me grab my level. Not that the base 2x4 can lean in, but where are we sitting on these? This is like at 88.4 degrees. We're looking for 90 degrees. And this one is at 89.05. All right. So, which will mean that one will probably go out just a little bit as we true it up. Yep. And this one over here will come in just a little bit. So we'll watch for that. But no matter what, we're going to go off this bottom measurement. Now, I think I see where the quarter is right here. These studs are overlapping just a little bit, and I think that threw me off just a little bit. So I'm going to stick with 89 because if I do 89 and a quarter, we're not going to fit in here because these two are overlapping the stud just a little bit. I never caught that, but let me get my trusty hammer. Maybe I can adjust that just a little bit. Not with that hammer. Maybe with a sledgehammer. So something to look out for. Definitely. All right. So we're going to do 89 because I don't want to get up into some weird stuff happening in there. So let's take the bottom board over here and we're going to make this 89 inches, right? Because it's got to fit in between both of these. So you can see this was a 92 5/8. And we're going to cut this portion off to get this to 89 inches. And this is a table that my brother got me that has come in awesome. Just an awesome table when I'm cutting these 2x4s. All right, let me put these on. Don't forget your hearing protection. And your gloves. All right. After we cut this one at 89, we'll cut the top one, the top plate at 89 also. Because this is important as we lay out where the window and door are going to go. All right, there we are, 89 right there. That should fit right in there now. And it fits perfectly right there in that notch that I was talking about. All right, let's get the top plate cut to 89. And it looks like I've already got it marked where I wanted to cut it to. Because I marked where I wanted all the studs to be on this one. But we will double check. Yep, pretty close. Not 100% close, but it was pretty close. It was a ½ inch off. So I'm going to mark that. And then I'm going to line all the studs back up to the marks I made on here. I'm going to go to the other side so I don't do something stupid. Woo! All right, that's that. So, obviously our first board lines up with the very end. And then our next one will be a king and a jack for the door. All right. Now I got the measurements for the rough end on that. And then I think I marked one of the cripples right there. So what I was doing was I was marking where I was going to start from. Let me get the tape measure. Where did I put the stem back? I might have put the stem backwards. That's what I was thinking. But then again, let me check this. Yeah, that's what I did. I'm going to pause the video for a second to get my rough in for the door, which is like 82.25 by maybe it's 32, but I'll double check. All right, I wrote the rough in over here so I won't forget it. And I'm going to take my framing square over here, speed square, and mark everything out. I was going to give a few inches from the wall to the door also. So I'm going to come in here and mark these. Like this is the king right here. And then the next one next to it is a jack. All right. Now, the rough end for the door has to be built on its header also. So we got to take into account that this is on the ground right here. So, think for a minute. Yep. So 82 1/8. And then we got 32. So we're going to measure from the jack stud over 32.25. Which is right there. Right. So right where that 32.25 is, that's actually the side of the jack, where the jack stud would go for the header, not the center of it. So don't forget that. So jack, and then king stud right beside it. So just getting all this laid out just to make sure I'm getting it right. All right. Then I'll true all this stuff up. All right. So all the way at the end, we have the wall stud at the end of the wall, obviously, but then we need to build out the window. The window has a rough end of 24 by 36. We'll give it a couple, just like we did over there, give it a little bit of room between, like over here, I gave it about 6 inches between the wall and where the door king stud is. And we'll do about the same thing over here. So look at measure out 6 inches or 24 inches and 24 inches. It's right about there. So that also gives us some separation between the door and the window so they're not right on top of each other. All right, so we're going to say right here is our jack, and then our king. All right, and then 24 inches out, we're going to do the same thing. I'll lay those out. And then I'm going to come back through here and look at where all the cripples need to go. All right. And that gives us this board left over for cripples, as well as that board there, and this other piece of a board here. And then I'll walk the camera over here and show you what all I was working on looks like in reality. So I got to make one more measurement over here, and then I got to mark where these cripples go. All right, now let's get our 16 where all the cripples need to go. We'll do center line of that one there, and we'll mark these. I'll erase some of these old marks. There's also a cripple right here. All right. And lo and behold, if the missing stud goes right here. And then I'll mark out these cripples on this one here. And the rest of this is good because this lands where a stud would go. So we didn't end up with an extra stud. It goes in between the door and the window, right there. If you follow that. Now, technically, all this, I got like 2 king studs and 2 jack studs in between there, so all right, let's take a look at what this looks like. All right, king and jack, cripple here, cripple here. That's it. And then a king and jack here. This was 16 on center with the rest of it here. king and a jack. You've got one cripple that would be here. I may split the difference and put two cripples in there anyways. And you got king and jack. And we got at least two cripples that'll sit on top of that header for that door. But, yep, so that's where we are. So I'm going to start moving on this and putting it together. You know what I always do. I always like to make sure we're at a 90-degree angle before we put all the screws in, so that when we come down there, it makes everything so much easier. And then I like to make sure we're at 90 degrees up and down before I put the second screw in. Looks good. All right, we're gonna put this first king, and then we're gonna have to cut this one off when we get down there. So just heads up on that. Way better. All right. Now we need to deduct the 1.5 inches when we cut this, because you got to deduct the bottom board, because the rough end takes into account that the full height. So if it's 82.25, we're going to take 1.5 inches off that. So it's the measurement from the floor. All right, 80.625. So that's 80 and a half plus an eighth. 80 and a half plus an eighth. If this thing is in sixteenths, so 2 marks as an eighth. So 80 and a half plus 1 plus 2, right there. All right, we're going to measure it one more time, make sure. So that's 5/8, 80 and 5/8. That's 4, 10/16. So that's 8, 9, 10. Yep, 80 and 5/8, right there. So what will happen is I'll get this jack stud butted up against the king stud. I'll screw it to it. Oops. There we go. So I'll start from that end so that I know that they're butted up together down here. Then I'll come down here and do the same thing and make sure they're still level with each other. All right, and I'll come down through the board now. This will make for a really solid area to mount the door frame to. And the jack stud had a little bit of a bow. I can tell you it doesn't anymore. And we're going to do a 6x8 header above that. So I've got the header boards in there that we'll cut and build that header here shortly. but we'll definitely put that header in after we've got the top and bottom. Because we need to make sure everything's squared up. Right. So we got to get our 32 and a quarter measurement across there. Which will be a 33 point and 3/4. All right. All right. I'm back from my dinner break. So for this area right here, for us to get our 32 and a quarter, we got to subtract or add the distance of the jack studs to that. So if I was to go from the one king stud that is screwed in to the other king stud that needs to go in, and have our 32 and a quarter that's in between these two jack studs. Just checking it all out. So basically, I got to add the width of this guy, add the width of this guy to get to this one here. So that's 3 inches. That's 35 and a quarter. All right, so 35 and a quarter. So 35 and a quarter should be right there. All right, and that would be the edge of the other king stud. So that when I have, and let me mark that real quick. So 35 and a quarter on the edge of the other king stud. That'll give me what I need in between the two jack studs, which is 32 and a quarter. Oh yeah. All right, we're looking good. We're looking real good. All right. Again, 35 and a quarter. And that is pretty dead on right there. So I'm going to move this jack stud over. And we're going to make sure that we are centered up. Yeah. All right. Let me get these screws in on this king stud right here. That's why I like to use screws when I'm putting some of this stuff together. If I make a mistake, I can take things apart pretty quick. All right. Oh, that's looking good right there. That looks good right there too. All right, and then it's like 80 and 5/8, I think it was, on this one here. So let me take that measurement one more time. All right. And 80 and 5/8. And I will cut this one real quick. screw it on. All right, 80 and 5/8, and then we'll put the jack stud on. I'm gonna move this back over here. Oh yeah. I need to get my gloves back on before I get a splinter. All right, gonna moment of truth here. Make sure I didn't mess up anything. Looking good. Looks good. All right. So I'm gonna, like I talked about last time, I'll go down to that end and start screwing the jack stud on because it must be flush down there. We do not have a choice. All right, it is flush, and we'll flush ladder horizontally and vertically. All right, and I'm going to come down to this other end and make sure that we're getting flush. And then I will get the door and the windows this weekend. Hell, they might even deliver that stuff free. I might check. I think free comes at a price. I think free comes at, it's never going to show up when you want it to. Like, how many times have you ordered something at Lowe's or Home Depot only to go over there and go pick it up yourself? And then it took even longer. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. That's all I'm saying. I went in there one time and asked to help the picker because it was just taking too long. Let's see, this is coming along pretty well. We'll get through this pretty quick. I framed up that one wall very quickly yesterday, which was fantastic. This one just takes a little bit longer. You have to get everything right on this one. You got a door and a window. You got cripples. You got a seal plate. You got a header, 2 headers. I put the 2 screws every foot on here just because I want this to be, you know, super strong, held together tightly. For those of you not tracking the earlier videos, I left my nail gun at my camp. And I don't want to go just buy another one. So I'm just putting this together with screws, and then I'm adding nails as we go along in strategic areas that I think need shear strength in the build. If I can get this done today, then I'll pick up the boards that I need to do the loft. And I got an idea for how I want to do the loft in terms of mounting 2x6s to the wall studs, and then building out from there. I say that's pretty good right there. What we'll do is, I don't know if I'm going to put that one in there or not. I know it'll help. If I have that one in there, it will help with any siding or anything that you do that will be 16-inch on center. Yeah, because that stud's right about 48. So that's your two pieces. If you don't have that one in there, then there's nothing where the two pieces join for them to come together on. So that might be important. So I think I will keep this piece right there at 48. However, that ain't really, no, never mind. You got a door right there. So that don't matter. Now that I'm thinking about it, you got a door here. So I would be building that off of here. There'd be a little piece from here to there with that window. So I will save this piece. If this was something else, I would keep it in there. But I have a piece that'll span from here to here with no issue. And we're not compromising anything. You'll have cripples in here, and you'll have king studs here. You'll have cripples in here. We're not going to compromise any integrity here. All right, I just wanted to make sure this was sitting at 90 degrees right here. And I need to rotate it just a little bit so that it is. All right, and then we're going to put our next king stud in here to build out window. And then we'll do our measurements in there for the jack stud and all that good stuff. It needs to go in there. That looks pretty good. All right, that's that king stud. And this jack stud, I think I put the window up at 3 feet. Let me measure that. I did. So that stud needs to be like 34 and a half or so. Yep. So I'll make that about 34 and a quarter. All right. What I may do is, let me see if any of these short boards are already, let me see what length this is. That's 58. See if any of these are already like 68. Booyah. This one right here. You can cut the 2 jack studs with minimal waste. And that's something I always like to check, because I don't like to have a lot of wasted boards all over the place. So this board here is 78. We're going to cut it at about 64 1/4. I'm sorry, 34 1/4. 34 1/4, which means we have to come out this way, which I will push it out that way. There we go. Right there. It's our first 34 1/4. And let me just double check, make sure that's how it came out. Yep. This will be our next 34 1/4. Perfect. So we're going to do like we did last time. And we'll come over here to the king stud. So we're going to save this 4 over here. We're going to come right here with the jack stud for the window. We're going to screw it on. Oh, dang. You know what I forgot? You got the long jack stud and then the short jack stud. All right. These will be the 3rd jack stud. My bad. See what happens when I feel like I'm on a roll. So that'll be that jack stud. Now I need to get the seal jack stud. Now I need to get the header jack stud. So the header jack stud on this window, the header jack stud we had it at like 70 3/4. If I'm right on 72. Sorry, 72. Yeah, that makes sense. 72. All right. Cut this at 72, and then cut the other one at 72. So 72 is like 3 feet off the ground and then a 3-foot window. So what I did for this last time is I did like 72 1/16. So if I was cutting on the line, then I'd be at 72. So that's the first 72, right next to the king stud. We got our windowsill right there. All right. So we got the jack stud that's going to be up there for the header. We got the jack stud that's going to be for the seal. All right. So let me screw the first jack stud on, starting from the bottom. Come down here, screw everything up. There we go. Looking good. All right. Now we'll come through here, put the rest of these in here. I'll double check. All my measurements look good. Yep. Perfect. So as soon as I put these in, I'll put the jack stud in for the seal. Yeah, this is like the getting everything lined up and doing the top is the most time consuming part of it, probably. Learning and going along, right? Learning and growing. That's what I always say. All right. I'm going to put the seal in here now. Or the jack step for the seal plate. I would not want to build a giant house. I'd say that building this, we call it a shed or a tiny house, helping me learn a few things. that I was doing wrong or not doing at all. And there's still a few things I'm doing wrong, obviously. All right, what we'll have to do next is remember the window is going to be in between these two header jack plates, or jack studs. So we are 24 inches. We'll add the 3 inches to it, so 27. Or that's 27 from there to there. Or we add, let's see here. So if I'm starting from inside of that king stud and I want to get to the outside of the other king stud, then I can do 25 and a half for the edge of the other king stud. And that should give me 24 inches between those. So if I'm at 25 and a half on the edge of that, that gives me 24 right there. Now that would give me theoretically 24 right here. But boards are not where they need to be. That one may be, but this one don't matter. Yeah. Oh, wow. I don't know that I can work that out of that board. We've got that. Oh, that looks way better. All right, so 25 and a half from the edge of this board right here. Which were very close to original measurements that we had made. And I'll take that measurement again. Yeah, 25 and a half. All right, I'm going to get this one squared up. Go ahead and put it in so that we can make its jack stud and then put its jack stud for the header on and then put its jack stud for the seal plate on. And I see the sun is starting to set over the Blue Ridge over there. All right, and I'll screw this one up. All right, and there we go, right there. The rest of this should get a little bit faster. I'm just looking over here to see if there's anything else that I'm forgetting. There is, if I want to screw this, that don't matter. So I'll screw down the seal plate. And from the top, I can get the everything screwed in there. So I think that'll be fine. So from here to here should be like 30, yep. I should be able to hit about 39, yep. All right, so that's done. 72 inches on that one. Where's that one that was twisted? That's the one I want. because I can easily straighten that board out on the side. There's 72. Move this. I'm gonna rotate it actually. Excellent. All right, I'm gonna screw this one on, and then I'll put on the seal jack, and then we're going to get that last board on, which we can do that right now while I'm right there. We are rolling now, and that's a good thing too, because it's going on 7. It's like 6:50, so we will run out of daylight soon. All right, we'll get this board going, and we're gonna put the seal in. Sorry, we'll put the bottom in, and then we're gonna do our cripples, and we'll do our seal and our header, or whatever. We're getting there. So my idea on the loft is that the loft will start at 6'6" while we're still underneath the double top plate, but we'll run a 6-inch 2x6 across all the studs, and we'll build a box out of that to frame up the loft, and then build the loft to that. Don't like how some of these are twisted, but I think I'll be able to untwist them, so to speak, as we put the bottom plate on. Don't want to run out of screws before we're done either. I don't think we will. But I do have a whole box of nails too. All right, we're almost there. Two more, and then we've got the seal jack board to go on. All right, we're gonna put the bottom board on, which, let's see. All right, we'll start from one end and we'll come this way. We have to take some measurements too, but we already know the first one is squared up. So the first one just gets screwed right on. Let me check camera position. Yeah. All right. So the first one will go right on. So that's a no-brainer for this one, because it's right at the corner. Yep, looks really good. The next one, I gotta take a measurement. So I will go back up top and measure the edge of that stud. All right, 4. It's really 3. 3 7/8. Right about 3 7/8. So right about there. So I want to check and see. Oh, almost. So what would, if it came in a little bit? Nope. All right, we're gonna go with it's 3 7/8 as it should be. So I'll get a screw started and then I'll pull it in. And I'm also going to mark it. Right about there. I've chewed up some bits. And apparently I've worn out some batteries too. So we go get the other battery. But I do have the adapter, so I can grab any of these other batteries, my DeWalt batteries, while my Black & Decker batteries, I can use those with the adapter while the other batteries charge. Looks like a champ. That way those DeWalt batteries will be fully charged. Alright, I'm going to take a measurement for where this one's at. Also, and I'm just going to come from the edge of the wood to the center of the board. It's at like 42, that's 42 and 5/8. So that's about centered right there. Got 42 and 5/8. We're going to check the square. That's not square though. But that also could mean, there we go. Let's get back to 42 and 5/8 again. Which is right there. So that's where it wants to be squared up, is right here. Let me check that. That's a little off. And this needs to be 32 and 1/8. $32 1/4 is what this spacing has to be. All right, and let's see what it is right here. It's just over 32 1/4 right there. And right here. Yeah, that's pretty good right here. All right, and that's where it was squared up. Moment of truth. Let me check this one more time. Yep, that was very squared up right there too. All right, we are rolling too. We're getting right through this. All right, let me get the measurement. All right, this one's centered about 53 on the next one, which is the first one. Which 53 is right there. Let me check square. That's very good right there. And very good right there. We can screw that in. We're doing good on nails too, actually. More right here. When we set this, we'll make sure we have 24 in between there, which is our rough end. But let me check where we've got. Good thing we ain't got that. Oh, we moved stuff around. That's right. I was about to say, something's terribly wrong. Now, from outside to outside, from inside here should be all right. There it is. That's not right. So unless it's a good thing I use screws again, right? So it looks like I need to move this over. So I should have 27. No, not 27. Yeah, 27 actually in between here. And I don't, which means I only have like 22 and a half. So move this over. Somewhere I made a miscalculation, which is why I like using screws. What I did was I screwed that in where the jack stud was supposed to be, not the king stud, which is no harm, no foul. We'll fix it now before things get crazy. All right. So again, in between here should be 27. And that's pretty much where, almost where this is right now. All right, that should fix everything now. So as I come over here, I'll be making sure I've got 24 as we look to get everything squared up down there. And from the end, that center measurement, 7.5. So let me get that squared up to 7.5. And we'll see what we're looking like. That's 7.5, so I need 24. What the heck? Dang it. It's off again. 7.5. I'll figure out down here in a second. Good thing is I can still move all that around. So I need 24 between these. And I need 27 between these. But that's off again. Okay. Check a couple things. I have not cut that bottom board off yet. That's what it is. Whew. All right. So I still have to cut that bottom board to, was it like 80, 9 inches or whatever it was. All right, that's what it is. So from here to here, I need 27 inches. So don't make the mistake I did. Cut your bottom board before you start trying to use it. So we need 27 between this one and this one. There we go. So that's looking more realistic now. I really messed that up. But that's all right. All right, there we go. So that should be our 27. So when we come up here, I should have the 24. Got like 24 and a quarter though. So I'm going to come in just a little bit more over here. So I don't have quite so much. All right, that's good right there. So remember, I did not cut this board off. The top board is cut off, but this bottom board is not cut off, and it needs to be. So I'll get that squared away here in a second. All right. Now, I'll take that measurement. I think it was like 89, something like that. Yeah, 89 should be right. Yep. All right, let me mark this one at 89. I'll cut it off real quick, and then we'll be back in business. Wonder how many of you were watching that and you knew exactly what it was. And you're like yelling at the screen. It's the bottom board. You didn't cut it off. But we found it and we are rolling. All right, and that's that. We'll screw this one in and we're rolling. Tape measure. This cripple should be 27. Seal plate 24, right? All right, 24-inch seal for that one. All right, we'll use this because this is all we got left. Oh, Yeah. Dang it. All right. We get that piece there. Good. All right. So we got it. We got enough. We're gonna keep rolling. So 24 on this one, and this one should be 27. Let's see how long this one is. Yep, we can get to 27 out of the rest of this board, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to drill down, but I don't want to bust any corners, so I'm going to get my drill. All right. I'll pop this in there, and then we'll get the 27 incher. And we'll come over there and we'll get the wide one. I like to toenail these in as well, if I can. All right, let me check this camera because we were working on the bottom. Yep. Oh yeah. All right, we're going to do the header plate for here. I'll double check it. 27. I'm going to do the same thing because I don't want to split the board. I'm drilling it out for my screws. I won't tell you, I was just trying to drill counterclockwise. Didn't work. All right. look at this measurement. It's about 30, 35 and 3/16. 35 and 3/16. That's a full board. This is a partial. I'll use this one. All right, here we go. Again, I'm going to screw these starter screws. I don't want to crack the boards. And you can see above this door that my 2x8 will almost fill this whole thing. So my footholds will be very small, which is fine. Ideally, you'd have whatever that measurement is, whether that's 12-inch or whatever, and that would be what goes in there to fill that. All right, last screw on this. All right, I'm going to cut our boards to go up here. Yeah, that's like 10 and 5/8 or something. So cripples will be really small. So again, this was like 35 and 3/16. Yep. Let's see what we got to work with first. That's not bad. This is a 42. So 35 and 3/16. That'll use most of that with little bit of waste. Cut on that end because this is the manufactured end. All right. Yep. Now the next one is a full board. So I'm probably going to cut this off the trailer over here to give me more leverage versus that little table. So you won't see me cut this one. All right, 35 and All right. Ooh, this is tough. Oh yeah, that's not. Let me pick this up so I can get this other side. I missed where I was screwing, and I'm gonna use this block to get that screw out. Oh, that was a workout on my recovering wrist. Certainly was. Yeah, that's really good right there. I'm gonna stand this up. This is really hard for me to do those from there. Let me move it over here a bit. It's this one. My bit fell out. It's amazing I've gone all this far, or all this way with this piece of junk bit. That's what happens when you live too far from a store. All right, so that's good there with that one. They measure this cripple that I need to put in there. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to lay that back down so that we can finish these cripples off. Amazingly, I think this is it seems like a much lighter wall than the others. Could just be me. You'll notice I kind of screwed the header in from the sides, and now I'm kind of screwing it to itself. It's because I'm going to be putting nails in it. So I wasn't too worried about screwing it together. I'm going to come back and pound nails into it to hold it together. All right, let me get the measurement for the cripple that we want to put right there. That is 34 and a quarter. All right. What's important with that one is once we put that one in, I can stand it up. So, and standing it up, it'll be easier for me to do the header in here. All right, so 34 and a quarter. And, you know, with the sun has set, temperature's dropping, my lights are starting to turn on out here. And I'm about ready to be done. All right, 34 and a quarter. And then ten and a half. This is good because I'm about ready to be done. Pretty tired, but I will go ahead and get this thing stood up before I'm done, but I'll finish some of this stuff. My goal for today was at least get this thing stood up. Let me just make sure this is 10.5 up top. And it almost is. Alright, that's 10.5. Looking good. Get this screwed in so we can stand it up. You know, I got this thing on blocks, and I was thinking you could pick it up with like a gantry crane and then put it on a trailer. Tiny house on wheels. And then you could offload it. Or you could keep it on the trailer. Alright, I'm going to put a few screws in here to hold this in place once we get it in there. Which I don't even figure will be too difficult. I think that it'll get in between those studs and it'll probably hold on pretty good. We don't want to put any screws in there because that's coming out. All right, that's good enough. We'll have the drill in there ready to rock and roll. I will move the camera. All right, I think this is a moment of truth, right? Oh, ah. I'm back. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. All right, let me get my level. We'll bring the camera in now. Whew. The temperature's really dropping now. Here we go. Wow. I'm just, I'm delighted. I think that worked out really well. You know, taking the time to take good measurements, that really made a difference in this build. All right, let me check this side over here. I think that looks good there. And then I'm going to start putting some into the side. Take that out. All right, let me get the screws and put it on the sides. Get these sides fold over a little bit. Because right now, I think it's pushing itself out one way or the other. Well, that's at 90 right there. That's at 88. Yeah, this side will come over some, is what's going to end up happening. I think we saw that in the initial measurements too. All right, that's not bad. Get one over here. Oh yeah, that pulled in nicely. We're gonna have to get up there and I'll tap the top out and we'll screw the top. So that's what's going on now as we're getting it squared up. All right. So I'm gonna need the ladder. So I will move the camera. Which is not bad. Oh, yeah. A lot. It's harder to talk. All right. Let's go right there. I need better equipment, huh? All right. I'll get this pulled over and get a screw in it. That's it right there. There we go, girl. Left-handed again. I got it that time. Let me go ahead and put another one in since I'm up here. Yeah, got another battery. All right, so we're going to rotate over here. I need to do the same thing on this corner. So I'll pull this corner in and I'll get these screws in. I'm going to swap this battery out. And then we're going to call it a night, put everything away. Oh man, nice, nice, very nice. Pulled it right on in. Super happy with that. I'm gonna grab the camera and we'll take a few looks at things so I can show you how it all turned out. Obviously, I would put a whole bunch more screws and nails to hold all that stuff together. All right. So first off, that's pretty close, right? 89.65. 9. Hey, you don't get no better than that, right? And then over here, so pretty good, right? Not bad, not bad at all. And I pulled in those corners up there by putting those screws in. I will finish tomorrow, put the header above that window. And then above that header, I'll put the cripples in. And I'll put the cripples in above this window, above the header. And what I did down here was I went around for our shear strength, and I did drive nails in. And I'll put more nails in, and I've been starting to drive nails in all the strategic locations. But without the nail gun, I wasn't going to be able to nail everything with a hammer. But that's it, folks. Hope you liked it. I will finish it up tomorrow. Appreciate everybody. Have a good one. Bye.